Hey guys, Lisa Ann here with Karma Fitness. I've been wanting to do this video for a long time, and I was a little hesitant because of course I don't want to offend anybody, but at the end of the day I'm an Aries, so I'm just gonna go for it. Today I want to talk about the fitness industry and eating disorders and body dysmorphia, the drug use. I feel like for me, going through this journey of the bodybuilding world over the last, I don't even know how many years, 8-9 years, I've learned a lot. I've learned I've learned how to effectively love myself, but I've also learned how to help other people really see their potential and really be able to grow. You know, one of the things that I really think is a trend that I see a lot of times with clients, probably 95% of the people that I've worked with over the years, they either struggle with some sort of body dysmorphia or eating disorder. Just to shed some light, you know, I had actually an eating disorder for many years, and that was something that I really had to work through in order to be able to come on the other side, or come out on the other side. And I feel like fitness really saved me in that way. I remember my first coach, I won't say her name, but she knows who she is, and maybe she'll be watching this, but she was a old school bodybuilder, 80s hairband loving chick. And I remember she used to make me lift heavy weights, and she would always tell me I need to eat more. I need to focus on eating and nutrition. And I kind of grew up with the mentality of, oh no. Okay, I'm back. Ah, why? All right, are we there? Okay. And I grew up with the mentality of, you know, the less I eat, the less I'll weigh, the more valuable I am. And honestly, that's bullshit. So I feel like a lot of women and men, they struggle with this, like this idea of perfection that we're constantly bombarded with as a society, especially in the West, because we're so conditioned to compete with one another and try to be better than one another. And at the end of the day, it's like the only competition you really have is with yourself. And once you can recognize that and realize this, and this doesn't just apply to fitness, but life in general, once you're able to apply that self-love, I feel there is such a wide avenue open for you. And, you know, I have made the conscious choice years ago to stay natural. I've never done an anabolic steroid in my life. I have struggled over the years with, you know, body dysmorphia, eating disorders, but at the same time, it has made me who I am, and it's made me more capable of being able to help other people with their struggles and their journey. I'm not here to say that any one journey is the right journey. You know, we all have our own path. And I do know one thing is true, though. If you do not treat your body right, it will turn on you. And there is such a huge disconnect between our bodies and ourselves at times that it's like sometimes I feel even when someone's like succeeding and they're doing such an amazing job, they're just so hard on themselves, myself included, that they don't see really the progress that they're making because they're so fixated on that perfection. And the truth is, you know, we're not perfect. There is no such thing as perfection. That is a myth. And we have to be able to recognize when we've made progress and realize, you know, that this is a journey. This isn't like, and that's why I do not take clients that are like, I want a transformation in a month. I'm like, that's probably not, I'm probably not the coach for you. Because all of my clients are natural, 100%, no fat burners, no steroids. So that is something that I am a stickler for. And I have produced multiple winners, myself included, because of this method. And I do feel the times are changing, and I feel that, especially with the pandemic that we have going on, I feel people are much more looking at their health, the way that they live every day, the way that they feel about themselves. I mean, being stuck in the house for the last 8 weeks is definitely, why am I blown up? No, why? Hold on. Sorry, I broke my phone. I broke my phone screen, so my phone's kind of messed up right now, but I'm doing the best I can. So to come back to what I was saying is I think that what's going on in the world right now, it's really making people a lot more aware of their health, their fitness, really the value of health, because without our health, we aren't able to do the things that we love. We aren't able to spend the time with the people that we love. So it's really important. You know, I'm all about looking good. I think that that's important because it helps with our self-esteem and our confidence, but at what detriment? And so that's why I made the decision years and years ago. I never have gone that route, and, you know, to each their own. If that's something that you are into, you know, I'm not here to tell you not to do that, but I am here to tell the people that are interested in another way that there is another way to achieve your goals. You do not have to do the drugs, and you don't have to beat yourself up continuously to succeed. I've competed in bodybuilding for the last 8 years, and, you know, it's definitely been a journey for me. My first show I ever did, I did really well, and I had this coach, I won't say his name, but I had this coach that he was a good coach. He taught me a lot of things, but when I told him I was going to leave the team to kind of focus on maybe a more naturalistic approach, I remember he told me, you'll never win, you need to do clean to win, you'll never be able to do it. And he got inside my head, and it really messed with me for a while because it made me feel like maybe I was less than. And you know, I persevered. I definitely went through my own struggles. I went through my own realizations, and I'm happy to say that last year I won my first show naturally. I didn't win the overall, but I'm still working on that. But that was a huge eye-opening experience for me, because in the shows that I had previously had not done so well in, I had the mindset of, God, I just want, please let me just be good enough. Let me achieve. Let me be a winner, you know? And the shift that I made at my show in Vegas last year was that I already was a winner, and I already was capable, and I already was worthy of that win. And it happened for me. And, you know, I heard on a podcast a couple months ago, and it was like, if you're constantly seeking something out, you're not ready for it. And I really believe that, because to manifest anything in our life that's worthy of who we are, we have to have patience, and we have to have perseverance. We have to go the long road. And I've never had a problem with that, because even though I'm not the most patient person, I definitely, I'm determined. And I will have to say, the people that I have cultivated as my team of clients right now, I am so proud of, because I feel like they are true winners. And even though they go through their periods of like where they feel they're not progressing, or they feel like they could push themselves more, I mean, that's life, that's being human. And we're always going to have that experience of that we need to be more, you know. But what I challenge you to accept is, can you recognize where you are right now? And can you be able to be grateful for it? So I think that is, it's a balance, and it's being able to learn how to do that. And it takes time. It's a tall order. It's not something that happens overnight. You know, I think too that it's just being able to be more present in our body and more aware of what exactly we are doing. Are we following our protocol for training? Are we feeding ourselves nutritious foods? Are we drinking enough water every day? Are we getting sleep? Are we focusing on the stress and the anxiety of what's going on in the world? Are we focused on the internal? Because I feel the more that we can do that, the more progress you can actually make, versus beating yourself up that you're not good enough continuously. So sorry, I have some notes here. One of the things too that I strongly believe in is holding your vision. So if you visualize yourself, or if your goal is to see yourself on the beach in a bikini, you need to hold that vision consistently all the time. You can't deter from it. and listen to those old stories and patterns, because those, you know, if you think about our lives, they really are like multiple lives, right? I'm not who I was when I was 20 years old. When I was 20 years old, I was very reckless, and I was very, I thought, you know, I could party on the weekends and still be fit. Well, you can't do that. Sorry to break it to you, but you can't. Some people can, but not many. So, you know, who I was when I was 20 years old, I just turned 34. That was like lifetimes ago for me. So you can't still expect your same patterns and conditioning from when you were in your 20s to be able to serve you now, like if you're in your 30s or wherever you're at in your life. So, you know, I think being able to kind of like look at how far we've come is a huge benefit, and trying to focus on the positive versus the negative. We're always going to have things that we want to fix about ourselves. And that's something that fitness has really helped me with. It's really helped me with being able to empower myself, to be able to get angst out of my body. So it's not just like sitting in my body. I've never regretted a workout. That's for sure. And so, you know, I bring this video to you really just to kind of shed some light on what I'm trying to do in the fitness industry. And I know that I may offend some people because, you know, I mean, that's just life. You're not going to make everybody happy. But at the end of the day, I know that I have been able to help people achieve their goals and do it naturally, and be able to really recognize that, you know, you are the master of your universe. Like, so if you want something, you can have it, but you have to align yourself with what it is you want. You can't just hope and wish and then beat yourself up all day. That's not how it works. And so I think that to be able to really recognize and have gratitude for where we are right now is a huge thing. And it has moved mountains in my life. It has definitely changed my life for the better. And I think too, being able to be okay with being different, you know, it's you don't always need to go with what everybody else is saying. And I'm sorry, but if any coach is ready to pump you full of drugs, you need to get a new coach, like immediately, unless that's what you want to do. For me, that's a no-no. And I pride myself on natural transformations for myself and for my clients. And I've had a lot of pushback from people because of that. But at the end of the day, I know that it's possible. And, you know, I don't think obviously bodybuilding's for everyone, but I think that in the West, we definitely have a sense of like low self-esteem where it's like, you know, we always feel like we're less than. We always feel like there's someone who has what we want, or, you know, I'm just not perfect enough, or, yeah, I like my body, but I could fix this and that. It's like, you're always going to have that. So you have to recognize your blessings in order to build on them. You know, and like I said before, you know, our bodies will turn on us if we do not treat them right. And that means like with our mental thoughts, that means with our emotional feelings, that means with like the nutritious food we eat. So if you're eating shit all day long, don't expect to feel good. And, you know, the other thing too is I think that with body dysmorphia and eating disorder mentality, I think there is a strong addictive pull. And the thing about addictions is, and psychology has proven this, you cannot get rid of an addiction. You have to replace the addiction with another addiction. So for me, fitness was always my way of being able to cope with the things in my life that were difficult or hard, and that made me feel less than. And so I bring this video to you today to not make anyone feel like they're not on the right path for themselves. You know, you have to listen to your own intuition, and you have to listen to what your body tells you. You always have to listen to your body, because your body speaks. It's just a lot of times we're disconnected from our bodies. So we have to be able to listen to our bodies and recognize, does this feel right? Does this not feel right? Being around this person, does it feel good or does it not feel so good? This environment, is it good? Is it not good? Do I trust this person? Am I going to put my life in this person's hands? So, you know, whatever you decide, I think that at the end of the day, we have to be able to be our biggest advocates, because without that, we will be led astray. And so the other thing that I want to say leaving this is, I remember I did this show, this was a few years ago, and I did a photo shoot before the show, and I got some really great photos, and one of those photos ended up being at the gym that I train out of. It's on one of the doors, and I was so grateful to have that. Like, I mean, it meant the world to me that they put me on the door. I was like, holy crap, why did I get picked for this? But I remember I did horrible in that show. I think I got like last place, but it was like my conditioning was probably the best it had ever been as far as my physique. And I remember I was so mad at myself, and I was like crying. And I remember my husband now, he was my boyfriend at the time. I remember he said to me, he's like, I don't want you to compete anymore. You just get way too upset. And I said, sorry, my phone's broken. I said, I'm going to win. And I said, and I'm going to win naturally. And I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. I'm going to do it. And I did it. And you can too. Now, I know competing's not for everyone, but let's say your goal is to be on the beach, or to feel confident, or you're getting married, or it could be so many things. It could be, you know, you just want to be able to feel good, or feel like you have endurance, or feel like you could do anything. You know, the way we feel about our bodies, the way that we present ourselves physically is a true extension of how we feel internally. So you can always tell who cares about themselves and who doesn't. It's very obvious. So, you know, always be that person that loves yourself and that cares about yourself and that takes care of yourself. That doesn't mean that we won't go through periods where we fall off the wagon and we're like, what the hell? Who did I become? But what matters is, do you get back into action, or do you remain on that low vibration? You know, so I think that if you can take anything from this, please just know that, you know, nobody in this world is perfect. In the world of Instagram and Facebook, it's so easy to think that everybody has it all together, and most people don't. But I think that being able to recognize what we have accomplished and what we do right, even if it's that you drank enough water today. I mean, that's amazing. You know what I mean? If you got all your meals in, if you said words of affirmation to yourself that were positive and important, I think that holds much more merit than berating ourselves for not meeting this ideal that is, it's not real. And so I appreciate you guys listening to me. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me, or check out my website, www.karmafitness.life. I hope you guys take care, and I appreciate you listening to me. Talk to you soon. Bye.